Okay, so moving to the next one, the next question. I have here three more comments from DJ Saho. Yes, music creation is like bodybuilding, takes time. Exactly, exactly. I cannot stress that enough. I think the bodybuilding, it's a good analogy because it takes time. It takes what's the word, discipline, it takes focus, and yeah, it's very important. So let's go to your first question: how to layer kicks to sound thick. Okay, let's go to FL Studio. Maybe I can show you that better there. One project that I did that was my techno from start to finish series, and I can actually show you. Let's see if I can have that. I think it was this one. Might take a little bit to load. Okay, so I think layering, it's a very important skill to have, and it's really when you start to understand how to layer, it's easy to do it. And I'm going to show you what I did in this track. I think it's this track. I hope so. If not, we can just open up a new project or a new empty project, and I can show you some tricks. But mostly, you have to understand the frequencies of a kick. What makes the kick shine, and also you have to, when you say sound thick, what you mean to yourself sounding thick. It's sometimes music, it's a little bit I don't want to say esoteric, but the terms that we use, it's a little bit hard for sometimes for us to really visualize what thick means, and I might think that thick means something, and you might think that thick means something else. So let's go through this example that I have here. Yeah, it was this kick here. Let's go to the samples here. And the first kick that I had, let me show you without any effects. This is how the kick sounded. Let me just have the kick. Doesn't sound bad. Okay, thick, I mean depth. Okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like sometimes it's hard for communication, for communicating a sound, because it's a sound. How can you describe a sound? I used to follow a YouTube producer, and he would make some jokes about. He would do some sketches about music production. It was really, really funny because he would be the producer, and then he would cut to be the rapper or the person asking for a beat, and he would ask for, I want these drums to sound like drops, or I want these drums to sound like spiders. And how do you make a sound like a spider? It's kind of funny, but this is what I mean. Sometimes it's kind of hard for us to describe, but let me try to explain what thick means to me, or why did I choose to not to have this layer of this kick. But here is the kick that I was working with. It sounds on its own, sounds good, but then I also had the bass. So let's hear the bass. Let's put the kick and the bass together. And I thought, this doesn't sound, it's something is missing. And I thought the kick was it had too, I wanted to have high frequencies on the kick, but I thought this was not the thing that I wanted to. So what I did was I applied some processing here. So let's go through it. First of all, I cut a lot of low end. I cut this resonance that I found here, and then I boosted the frequencies that I wanted to make it more thick, to make it more present in the low frequencies. That's what I wanted for this kick. But then I still had let me reduce this. Let's just hear the kick. You can hear the difference. So the first thing that I always try to do before starting layering stuff is try to get the frequencies that I want with EQ. If the kick sounds good in the track, I try to change frequencies around so that I can have the best EQ or the best sounding frequencies for the project that I'm working on. That's my first thing. I don't think about layering automatically. I only layer when I cannot do something with EQ. If I like the kick, if I like the bass, that's what I'm going for first. Is trying to get the EQ, the kick to sound good with the track, with the equalization. That's my first thing, and that's what I did here by boosting a little bit or a lot of the low end and removing some of the resonance and some of the high frequencies. But still, I thought it was not enough, so I added a little bit of distortion. This is just a little bit to make it a little bit thicker. That's what I wanted to do also. And then I was like, but still with the bass, it doesn't sound how I was imagining it. So what else did I do? I thought, okay, maybe the kick has a lot of tail, so I applied and actually you are listening with the envelope that I added. So let me take out the envelope and the plugins. Yeah, so this was the original kick, which is a little bit more, I don't know, so this makes it a little bit more short, which that was what I'm looking for. So then I was like, still, I don't like it. So I added this transient processor to reduce a little bit of the release. So to try to cut even more the sustain or the release of the kick. Let me enable. So we were getting there, you know? And I also add a little bit of the attack. So I was getting there already with just the equalization and compression and distortion. But I was like, yeah, still not what I'm looking for. So I added this big cut, this low pass equalizer. And this is how it sounds. And this doesn't sound good in any track. It sounds, it doesn't have a body. It doesn't have depth of in the EQ. So if you can hear, let's hear it alone. But now I added what I wanted, which is a very really nice low end in the kick. And I really like that. So in the beginning, I was talking about you have to understand the frequencies of a kick. And usually you have the low frequencies and then you have the high frequencies. And the high frequencies are usually in the click of the kick in the beginning, or it could have more if you have a big release. But what I say when understanding the frequencies is that, okay, if I focus the frequencies that I like in this kick, which is basically the low end, I can now bring another kick. I can layer this kick with something else here in the rest of the frequencies. And you can actually say, yeah, but this equalization the processing that you did before doing this big cut, now it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, but it's there. And it shaped the sound the way I wanted. Everything here makes sense. And in this part, even though I apply a very sharp low pass, it's also this equalization here and compression and transient processor is still affecting the sound. So I left it the way it was. Next up, I said, okay, now I need a different kick. So what I did was I brought a new kick. Let me cut the processing. And this is how the kick sounds. A different kick, but I really like the clickiness of the kick. It has a really nice click on it. But now I'm faced with this issue that I have already low end in my own kick, and I don't need it. So what I did to layer the kick was I applied this this equalization here. So basically, I remove all the low frequencies that I didn't need for the kick, and then I boost here the high frequencies because I felt that this frequency made a really good impact. So now let's listen both of the kicks. And now it sounds a completely different kick from the original. Let's hear again the original. Let's take now again the kick high. And the good thing about this is that now I can change the high frequencies or the low frequencies. And let's hear with the bass. And let's take the high kick. You see, it's like, I don't think it sounds that bad, but at the same time, I prefer this. It sounds more techno. To me, at least. And this is how I think you can layer stuff. And again, my first thought when I'm layering or when I'm trying to make the kick or any sound thicker or match the instrument or the track that I'm working with is first I go for equalization. Because let's say you are a mixer, you are mixing this track. If a customer sends you stems, you have nothing to work with in terms of creation. You are just mixing. So your first tools when you are mixing is EQ and compression and reverb and delay and all that stuff. Of course, you can add samples on top of it, but that's extra work that you probably don't want to do as a mixer engineer, you know? So my first thought whenever I want to make something sound thicker, sound better with the track is EQ. First, I go for EQ, compression, distortion, all these types of dynamic plugins so that I can first try to carve and boost some frequencies that I think it's not helping the track. And then if after that, I don't think that's still what I'm looking for, then I go and start layering stuff. Because I think that's the most I don't want to say it's the easiest way, because I saw in the past a lot of producers just throwing kicks and layering stuff and mixing and all that stuff. So it's a little bit of a style of production, but what I like to do usually is that process. First, I try to fix the sounds that I want, that I have in the project. If I can switch them, I will switch it. But only after doing some EQ and not getting the sound that I want, then I would go the step further and layer. This is for kicks. If we are talking about synths, probably it will be a different story. But for kicks, that's how I would go about it. I hope that answered your question. I hope that that was in a way helpful. That's how I go about. That's how I go about making my kicks sound better. Okay, thanks. You're welcome. EQ to remove unwanted frequencies and boost required frequencies. Compression, layering with kick and kick. Yeah, I think that's a good summary of this. 20 minutes. I would probably could say just that, but I wanted to show you the process, my thought process of going through what I was thinking about when I was doing that. And I think that's having that thought process is very helpful also. It helps you to see